Well, having lost 3-0 at Emirates against Manchester City on Wednesday, Arsenal are set to return to the Premier League match day against Aston Villa, playing away at Villa Park, a stadium that has a capacity of 42,758 people, all seaters that really accommodate into that stadium. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. Arsenal have a chance to get back to the top of the Premier League table. That is on Saturday lunchtime, to see to it that they really tussle it out with Manchester City. Remember, Arsenal play first, and it's the opener of the weekend, and Man City are going to be hosted by Nottingham Forest at the City ground later in the evening. So that means if Arsenal win their game of football against Aston Villa, they are going to find themselves in a position of really being so much in the lead of the table, and that will pile more pressure to Man City to see to it that they go outside there and really put in a fight, because Nottingham Forest is not an easy ground to go to, especially in the Premier League, because I think the last 7 games they've not lost a game at home. That's it. That is Nottingham for you. Terrorizing very many huge teams that go there, and they put up a fight every time they are really playing at the stadium. Now, what of Aston Villa? I think Aston Villa have been having a spell of some games that they've lost, especially they lost away at City last Sunday. I think they lost by 3-1, and their last game at their stadium, they were beaten by Leicester City 4-2. And the other one, before they lost to Leicester City, they went ahead to lose to Southampton by 1-0. So their last the last game they played at home, they beat Leeds by 2-1, and they beat Leeds by 2-1. That's when Unai Emery really came in through. And obviously, the big one they've ever won there, it's beating Manchester United by 3-1. And that was before the World Cup. But that all came in through because United had traveled from Spain after playing Sociedad. And they returned back. They rested for just 1 or 2 days, and they had to play them, so they lost. And it was the first game for the manager, and that manager bounce back really came in through and obviously affected United. But I believe Leeds, having lost their previous 3 games in the Premier League, I think it's nowhere near good for them to face a team like Arsenal, which you can call a wounded lion, because you know what Arsenal is right now. They need this win, and if at all they don't win this one, obviously they will be out of the title race, according to me, because to give that game in hand that Arsenal has value, they have to keep winning until they play it, such that when they play it, they will be level with Man City, and when they win it, they go back on top of the Premier League table. That's what Arsenal is supposed to be doing, and this chance that they are playing faster than Man City gives them a chance to really take pressure off themselves and pile more onto City by scoring goals in this game of Aston Villa. Let's go to the players that are really not going to make it, or that are really going to be a miss. Gabriel Jesus, not yet back, confirmed by manager Mikel Arteta at the press conference today. Then Emily Smith-Rowe, for him, he's back. He's back, took part in training. Reece Nelson is back. El Nini is out. And the other doubtful player to come in for a side known as Arsenal, or to be out of this game, is Thomas Partey. The manager said they need to assess Thomas Partey. And I believe that Arteta is not a manager who is really willing to go ahead and really do the same mistake again that he did when Partey played 45 minutes in the FA Cup tie against Man City, took him off and hurried him back in the game of Everton and Brentford. You get? And those games, he lost that of Everton, and he lost 2 points against Brentford. Missing him in the game of City, that would have been more important for Arsenal. So I don't think that the manager is going to do the same thing again. I think he's going to let Partey heal totally, because Jorginho can get this job done. Let's trust that Jorginho can get this job done. Now, for Arsenal, the absentees are El Nini and Gabriel Jesus. The rest of the players, even Partey is a doubt, but he can come in through because the manager looks like he's needing him badly. A late assessment is going to be made, and we don't know whether he's going to travel to Aston Villa. But if at all he's the traveling squad, we'll come here and let you know that Partey has traveled with Arsenal to Villa Park. When you go to Aston Villa, Diego Carlos, a defender was signed by Steven Gerrard, is out. Jed Steer is out, but they are all coming back. Mings, there is Bertrand Traore is also returning, and the coming back of Mings means that the former Arsenal player known as Calum Chambers is going to drop back to the bench because he played the central defense against a team known as Manchester City, and they conceded 3. So Mings might partner with another central defender of Aston Villa as it stands. And let's go into the predicted starting 11 of Arsenal and hope and see which changes is Mikel Arteta going to make, because in the game of Manchester City, he made the change of Ben White started off the bench. He brought in Tomiyasu, then a forced change of Jorginho after Thomas Partey was not cleared fit to play against City, and he was out. Now, which other changes is the manager going to make after that game? Because we expect a huge change, or some huge changes in this game of football as far as it's concerned, because Arteta needs to make a statement that if at all you go all out and don't do what I want for you to do, I do bench you. But he has not been doing this in several games, because we've seen several players at Arsenal go ahead and really do mistakes, and he'll retain them, as I'm going to show you in this predicted lineup, as to the reason I'm basing on as to why some players are really going to be maintained in the starting 11 of Arsenal. Now the system 4-3-3, that is the system of Arsenal. And I believe the goalkeeper remains Ramsdale. He has done nothing wrong in this game of football. He has taken it to the level that has really given Arsenal some good chances, and all the saves he needed to make in the game of City, he made them. But I mean, he never allowed City to get a goal unless otherwise the gifts that we are given to the players of City. That's it. So right back is really controversial and really contentious. Tomiyasu coming in for Ben White and giving away that goal to City is a concern to many Arsenal fans. Should Ben White come back? That will be one of the questions being asked by Arsenal fans. To me, I believe, according to what I've seen Mikel Arteta do, every time he trusts a player, he cannot really get him out when he does a mistake, because Ben White has been doing mistakes in 3 consecutive games. Manchester United versus Arsenal versus Manchester United, Arsenal versus Everton, Arsenal versus Brentford. He has been a culprit, but he has kept him on the field of play. So I don't believe he's going to take off Tomiyasu in this game, because you bench him, you are killing his confidence. Because if he was to take him off, I think it was better to take him off as soon as the second half started or not. But he never really took him off, because he knew that I'll be killing the confidence of this player. I trust him in doing the job. And obviously he did the job, but apart from that mistake, he did nothing else wrong on the field of play. And I believe it's Tomiyasu playing at right back when Arsenal is playing Aston Villa. That's what I'm really believing. Left back, I think it's constant. I don't think Kienitien is returning soon enough. I think it's going to be Zinchenko playing at the left back. Then the central defense, on the right side of the central defense, I think Saliba is going to maintain his position at the right back of Arsenal. And now the most contagious other position is this one. It's the left side of the central defense. Who's going to play there? There is Jakub Kiwior, one of the players that is breaking records at the training ground of Arsenal, playing very well, and he is really showing the manager that position that Gabriel Magalhaes is playing in, I'm going in for it. And remember very well when Jakub Kiwior came in through, and I told you his aspect that he's really good at playing that ball from the back, and is press resistant, fast, tall. I insinuated that the days of Gabriel Magalhaes might seem to be over. Why? Because he has costed Arsenal in very many games. He costed them in the game of Spurs. He costed them, I think, in the game of Liverpool. He costed them in the game of City. They are close to 5-6 games. The game of Fulham, the goal that Arsenal conceded, he gives that ball sloppily to Mitrovic, and Mitrovic gives Fulham the lead. So it shows you how Arsenal is suffering because of him playing at the left side of the defense. But is Kiwior coming in through to play against Aston Villa on Saturday? I think that is one of the positions that are really going to give Mikel Arteta a big headache, because in the game of City, Gabriel Magalhaes gave away the ball close to 4 times. 4 times. And you can't really do that and expect to win the trophy. So I believe that is what really stops that is really what stops a team from winning the trophy, because those are decisive moments. The penalty that was given to City and then ruled out because Haaland was offside. On the other day, if Haaland is not offside, that's a penalty brought to you or gifted to City by Gabriel Magalhaes. And I think this might be Gabriel Magalhaes' last chance. That's it. It's going to be his last chance, according to me, and I see no way this man is coming up to do the needful and obviously take off Gabriel Magalhaes. I think he's going to give him a last chance to come in through and do the needful, but you never know. He might not give him a chance because he has been doing this, and every time he has been doing it, Arsenal never had a left-footed central defender. But in the presence of Kivio, I think it might give the manager a headache to choose who's really going to play for Arsenal. But I believe it's better to bring in Kivio because Arsenal is a football possessing side. You need a defender that is really like Saliba on the ball, confident, pass it, and obviously move on. So I hope Magalhaes comes in through, but I won't be surprised if Jakub Kivio is really given a chance or his debut at Arsenal. Then we are going to the central defensive position. Partey. To me, if I'm Arteta, I don't risk Partey. I let Thomas Partey get fully healed. Let Jorginho do the job. Because Jesus is not far away from return. You'll need him into this beautiful game of football. You'll need Jesus. And if at all you're having Jesus and Thomas Partey to play the last 14 games of the season, you are 100% sure that if at all you're having them on the field of play, you can win these games. And when you win these games, that guarantees you to give you this trophy, because there is a very huge game that Arsenal is going to play away at City. It's really going to be so much important. Even if Arsenal goes there when they're level with City and they win it, they go back on top of the table. If Arsenal wins their game in hand, go to play City when they're 3 points ahead of City. When they beat City, they're 6 points ahead. So I think it's better. Let these two heal totally. Jesus and Thomas Partey, don't hurry him back, because these games of February are important, but I think the most important games are the ones that Arsenal is going to play March, April, and May. Those are the most important games, and I think if at all you have Jesus and Partey on the field of play, Arsenal is really having high chances of winning the trophy, because they can put out a run or a winning stretch that they put up before we went to the World Cup. I think that is possible. Not so? So to me, I would go for Jorginho over Partey because he played very well against Man City. I think the only thing that Partey does better than Jorginho is that drive he gives you up front of the pitch through the central axis, that he gets that ball and really drives it towards the final third of the opponent. But in passing that ball, I think Jorginho is a better passer, and I think Odegaard just needs to really do a lot. And I think in this position, why does Arteta go to switch to a 4-2-3-1? Let Odegaard play ahead of Granit Xhaka and Jorginho in a double pivot, and then he plays ahead of them. So let's go to the other player that we believe is going to come in and start. Obviously, Martin Odegaard is one of those that we expect to start in there for you, the captain of the Arsenal. Now, Xhaka, I've put him in this game, but if at all I'm Mikel Arteta, I think I give Xhaka a bench, because he's no longer the same player as he was. That's it. If at all you have to admit and really call a spade a spade, he's no longer the player he has been. And I think a call of really benching him should be made, and let Fabio Vieira come in and really start. And this is a problem that you have if at all you don't rotate your players very well. You get? It's very hard for Fabio Vieira to be on his best if at all he's not getting games and he's not getting him time. So Xhaka, I think, to me, I believe it's time for Fabio Vieira to come in through, but I think the manager is going to go to Xhaka. Then on the left forward, I believe this man should start today. He should be given time to start because he's better. He's a better player. And to me, I believe Martinelli is a better impact player. He's a better impact player on the field of play. So I believe Trossard should start against Aston Villa and Martinelli should be benched and come off the bench. I think Mikel Arteta should learn a lesson from the game of City. Let Martinelli come off the bench because the composure of Trossard would have helped Arsenal a lot against City in those first 60 minutes of the game. He would have gone ahead to get hold of that ball and obviously haunt this team. That's it. Then Saka, I think, looks like he's tired. He's playing very many games, though Arsenal have no option, but he's starting. Then Edin Nketiah, Arsenal have nothing to do because he's the only forward they have, having missed close to 3-4 chances against City, where would have found himself scoring a hat-trick. He really had a very bad day in office. Now, that is my predicted starting 11, but if I'm Mikel Arteta and I want Martinelli not to be benched, I think I bench Nketiah. I let Trossard lead the line and Edin Nketiah play wide left, because Trossard, however much is not a pressing monster like Jesus, but his mobility and the way he plays and his movements are really like those of Gabriel Jesus, especially in the final third. I think it's better let Trossard play as a center forward, then Martinelli switch left, and that's what the service I thought that was going to do, and take off Nketiah and bring on Trossard to play as a false 9 in the game of City, but he didn't, and I believe that is one of the things that really costed him. So Fabio Vieira, I believe he deserves a start. To me, he deserves a start. Fabio Vieira really deserves a very huge start for me, because he has really gone ahead to show to it that he really deserves this. And for Arsenal, they're really having a very bad record, and you know that very, very, very well. That in the previous how many games? In the previous 4 games, 1 of FA and 3 of the Premier League, they've lost 2 and drawn 2. It shows you that they need to lift themselves up to find themselves back to the levels where they're supposed to be winning for this team of Arsenal. But if all goes well, I think Arsenal are really winning this game by 3-1, according to me. I think Arsenal are winning this game by 3-1. And they can keep a clean sheet because away from home, Arsenal have always kept clean sheets. You know that very well. Arsenal have always kept clean sheets. And now, let's wait and see how Mikel Arteta is going to go ahead and really tussle it out between him and Aston Villa. Huge game. But I believe Jorginho can win that midfield battle of these midfielders of Aston Villa, because Aston Villa plays with Kamara, Douglas Luiz, and McGinn. I think that's the midfield 3 of Aston Villa. I think he can go ahead and really win that battle. Partey's absence shouldn't be something to haunt Arsenal. I think they shouldn't hurry Partey back. They shouldn't hurry him back. Let him rest and let him really find himself back to full fitness, and obviously do the needful to really help Arsenal in the remaining games of the season. So that is my predicted starting 11. But for Aston Villa, let me show you a little bit of how I believe they're really going to go ahead and really start, because it's a team of Unai Emery, former Arsenal manager. You know that very well. And he has been really doing a fantastic job at Aston Villa when he came in through, but he has lost his previous 3 games. He lost out at Southampton. He was beaten by Leicester City, and Man City beat him. So he's not in a good form. And even Arsenal is not in a good form, because in their previous 3 Premier League games, they were beaten by Everton, drew with Brentford, and lost to City, meaning that Arsenal has just 1 draw and 2 losses. Aston Villa is having 3 losses that are really consecutive. So when you look at how things are really coming up and wide, you expect them to come in through and really take over this chance to beat Aston Villa, because Aston Villa is also not in its perfect form that can go ahead and really threaten Arsenal fans. Remember, there is also Emi Martinez, the goalkeeper of Aston Villa, whom Arsenal sold to that team. I think he was playing for Arsenal also. Emiliano Martinez was playing for Arsenal, and then they sold him to Aston Villa, and is really doing a very wonderful and graceful job for that side. So when you look at Aston Villa, I think they are going to line up as follows. They play a system of 4-4-2. And I think Martinez in goal, Ashley Young right back, Konsa, and I think Mings is going to play this position. I think Lucas Digne is going to retain his position. Then Kamara, Douglas Luiz, Eddie Buendia, Ramsey, Watkins, and Leon Bailey. But I believe they might change to a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 after that loss at Man City. So that is the team that is expected to face Arsenal on Saturday at Villa Park. And we expect to see the best of these teams coming in through and really giving us the best of football. And you know how we do it? We'll be live with the confirmed team news of Arsenal and Aston Villa just 1 hour to the game of football. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. Rokani David is my name. And I sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly. But I believe Arsenal are really going to bounce back. Three goals by Arsenal, and Aston Villa might score one or not. That's my prediction. And someone would call me brave, but I believe if Arsenal really wants to win the trophy, they should make a statement win. Against City, Arsenal created chances. They were not efficient in front of goal. That means if they improve their efficiency in front of goal, they will win this game comfortably. I think Arsenal are going to make a very huge bounce back that will see them even score many goals to see to it that they close down on the five goals that City has more than them, because Arsenal has a goal difference of 26 and City has a goal difference. No, City has a goal difference of City has a goal difference of 36. Arsenal has a goal difference of 26. So City has 10 goals more than Arsenal. Is this table right? So that is it. City are really having a very huge difference more than Arsenal. Arsenal has a chance to close it down. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. Smash the like button, comment and share. Your reactions and predictions are welcome in the comment section below. We are returning with more stories, though we've started late because power was a problem. Since morning we have no power. When it got back, I said I have to come here and really do something for you about.